Last season, with our FC Voluntari side in our Building a Nation save in Romania, we won the Romanian First Division. But we also won the Europa Conference League as well, beating Palermo 2-1 in the final. It means this season we are fighting on four fronts. We've got the league, we've got the Super Cup, we've got the Romanian Cup, and we are into the Champions League as well. But not only are we in the Champions League, Cluj are also into the Champions League. Now, I'm not sure. Okay, they do have to go through qualifying rounds, but Cluj are in a very good position to get into the Champions League properly as well. When you look at the season last year, so this is last season, Arges finished in second, getting Europa League. We've got FCSB finishing technically. I don't think it was fourth. I think technically they finished, they might have finished fourth. They might have finished third. I'm not quite sure. But FCSB also in the Europa League as well. And Botasani qualifying for the Europa Conference League, which I think might be the first time they've ever qualified for a European competition. But with that in mind, what are our expectations for this season? Well, the board want us to win the league. I want to win the league. The board want us to be competitive in the Champions League. I want to win some games. We need to get coefficient points. So that is it has to be our target. Not expecting to win the thing, by all means. But if we can do well in the group stage, that should be good. Romanian Cup, they don't really care. They just want us to get to the quarterfinals. Fair enough. And they want us to win the Romanian Super Cup, which is against FCSB, which, to be fair, I couldn't care less about that, but apparently the board want us to win it. From a transfers perspective, we've already done 3 bits of business on the 1st of July, all of them on free transfers. Oliver Ankerstjern might be his name, signed from AAB on a free transfer. Like I said, 28 years of age, defensive midfielder. He's good. He's actually a very good player. Another very good player as well is Sami Salah, a 26-year-old Egyptian left winger with 18 caps and 1 goal to his name, signed from Future in his native Egypt, once again on a free transfer. He's a very fast man. And finally, on the opposite flank, Jose Garcia, who is a 22-year-old Uruguayan winger, maybe striker, maybe central midfielder, maybe attacking midfielder, signed from Peñarol in his native Uruguay, once again on a free transfer. And if you don't know, check out Peñarol because they always have some really good players. Like this man, for example, Mario Maidana. I'm not going to sign him, but he's potentially worth up to £5 million and he's only 19. He's very good. Or this man, Jose Rodriguez, a 17-year-old winger, who is, he's worth potentially £3.3 million. Anyway, financially, what we have to spend for the rest of this summer transfer window is about £20 million. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do just yet, so you're going to have to see in just a second what we actually do. I imagine, much like quite a few seasons that we've had recently, it is we just replace. If someone leaves, we replace. That is all we need to kind of keep doing. Although, we could go big, and we could go big to try and do well in the Champions League. Do we just chuck money at getting some really top quality footballers? We've got the money to spend. So we do, in theory, have the ability to spend maybe £5 million on 4 different players, giving them high wages as well for our league, and hope that we can do a reasonable job in the Champions League. We're going to find out. So we have sold about £7.5 million worth of players. Octavian Cristeo has left. He's gone over to Servette. He's got a £1.6 million minimum fee release. He's gone for £250,000. For £575,000, we say goodbye to Andre Sigurd Steinsson, who has done very, very well for us. From Inter Milan, we brought him in, 151 appearances. He just wasn't good enough anymore for our team, so he's moved on. Amadou Fall, the 19-year-old Senegalese winger, has left, signing for Lyon, but returning on loan for about £2.3 million. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure there is some form of sell-on in there, probably a 50% one. And we also say goodbye to Philippe Touré for £5 million. He has moved over to Al Fatah in Saudi Arabia. 162 appearances he played for our voluntary side. Obviously, we signed him from Arges. We actually initially signed him to Arges as well from Sewe Sport. Philippe Touré, for a player who's now worth, I say now, we sold him for £5 million. We got our money's worth out of him. We certainly got our money's worth. And joining the club then, in no particular order, Alessandro Fontarossa, who is an Italian left-back and centre-back, signed on a free transfer. We brought him in because we need some depth. Basically, we don't have too many left-backs. Fontarossa has come in. I know he's 34. I feel sick. I feel physically sick signing this man, but we've done it anyway. For £1.2 million, we have signed Dembele Doudou, who is a 23-year-old Senegalese right-back, signed from Cluj. I think he's good. I think he's a good player. We've just basically brought in a whole bunch of players for depth. I think that's one of our big problems, is we don't have a huge amount of depth. Doudou certainly brings a bit more depth. Also, I'm 38 years old. I can't laugh at the word Doudou. Definitely trying. For some reason in Football Manager as well, there is always one player from Thailand who turns into a world-class superstar, and I'm hoping it is this man, Wanmai Sami Pak, Wanmai Sanufak? I'm not quite sure. Signed from Port in his native Thailand. He's come in for £750,000. Central defender, 34 caps to his name. He looks pretty good. This is one of the reasons why I was comfortable selling Toure, because Samifak, I think, can do the job. Because we sold Amadou Fall as well, I decided to reinvest a bit of money to bring in some top quality footballers. Enrico Carnevali is one of those players, signed from Torino, 25 years of age, which is one of our more aged players that we signed for £1.8 million. We could have got him last year for a free, but I didn't realise he existed at that point. But £1.8 million, I think, is a very good bit of business for a player who's still got some potential to kind of reach. He's only 25, still got a few years left in him. I'm quite looking forward to seeing Enrico play. And sticking with our older players, 28-year-old Miguel Frias, a Venezuelan defensive midfielder signed from Deportivo Táchira. I found him in the Venezuela international side and I looked at him and he's very good. Defensive midfielder, maybe a centre-back as well. I can't remember. Have I told you how much? £275,000. Not a lot of money at all. And finally, for £1.3 million, which is, I think, our most expensive signing of this summer, is Davide Oppolini from Uruguay, signed from Liverpool FC in Uruguay. Much like Peñarol, Liverpool FC, good team to actually steal some decent young players from. Loads and loads of potential ability here. I'm not sure whether we're going to force play this guy. We probably won't. We'll probably just use him as sort of a rotation player in the first few seasons that he's here. But I'm hoping by the time he's like 21, 22, he's going to be really good. And I think that is all the transfer business we have done. You can see here on the right-hand side as well some other people that might be of interest. Kostov, we have sold to Craiova. We've sold a man called Cyprian Cosma to Bacau. A whole bunch of players going out on frees. Cosmin Pop being one of those players. Barzon as well, leaving, signing for Kaiserslautern. A whole load of loan deals. Probably should mention this one. The guy we loaned in, we signed from AAB. We've loaned him straight back out again because it's registration rules, okay? I'll be honest with you, registration rules are a problem. Bordas going out on loan might not have been a good bit of business to do that, but we've gone for it anyway. So far, the season has kicked off okay, not amazingly well. We are 5 points off the pace at the moment in 6th place, but obviously plenty of football still to play. We've got 4 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats. The defeats are against Hermesad, Arges and Rapid, 3 teams that are above us. The draws, Craiova, Cluj and Botasani, who are kind of all roughly in the same area, apart from Cluj, who are currently top. But the 4 wins, Craiova, the other Cluj, Steaua Bucharest and FCSB. FCSB is a very good win there. So is the U Cluj one, actually. So we've done okay. We've done all right, I think. Now, I haven't checked this, but I'm not quite sure whether we've got 2 Romanian sides in the Champions League. I feel like we haven't, have we? We definitely haven't got 2 Romanian teams. What have we got in the Europa League then? So a quick skim down the squads. We have got CFR Cluj currently in the Europa League, which is very good to see. PAO FC, by the way, are a French 3rd division side, have made it to the Europa League. Fair play to them. Anyone else? I mean, I'm definitely going to miss somebody. We've got 1 team. 1 team in the Europa League. Does that mean, have we got 3 teams in the Europa Conference League? FCSB are there. Arges are there. So there's 2 already right at the top of the league. And I think that might be it. It's probably not, but I think that might be it. In case you're interested as well, we've got some very difficult games in the Champions League. They're always difficult. It's the Champions League. We've got Real Madrid, Ajax, we've got Shakhtar, Fiorentina, Brøndby, Besiktas, Man United and AC Milan. So, let's be honest. Beat Besiktas, beat Brøndby, maybe beat Fiorentina, beat Shakhtar. If we can get 4 wins, I'll be happy with 4 wins from those matches. So the players that we are locking in to play this season then, or at least the very first few matches of the season, it is Filipovic keeping his place in goal. I probably don't need to do this anymore, but I kind of like doing it just for the sake of keeping in the squad. Filipovic is getting very, very good. And then it's just the attacking midfielders. So Carnevali on that right-hand side. I'm locking him in because if I don't lock him in, they play Grecu, they play Meziani, they basically kind of put all sorts of players in there. Fairher in the middle of the pitch, which I'm putting him in there because otherwise they play him as a striker. I don't want him playing as a striker. And then we've got Sami Salah on that left-hand side. I think similar situation with Salah. They don't necessarily play him. They play Meziani, and realistically, I want Meziani playing up front with Grecu. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So you can see there, as forwards go, Carnevali often gets put up front. So does Fairher. I want Carnevali as a right winger. That's his job. Right, let's jump forward then to the winter break. See how well we have got on. And let's hope that we've done all right in the Champions League. I want to win 4 games. I mean, admittedly, when we get to the winter break, I want to win 3 games. So first things first, looking at the league table then, 3rd place is where we currently sit, so we have certainly turned things around. In fact, I think we've drawn twice, lost once, and then won like another 10 matches or something ridiculous. So we've done very, very well. We're now 41 points, just 3 points off of CFR Cluj, and just 2 points off Arges in 1st and 2nd place, so we have certainly turned things around there. How have we got on in the Champions League? 17th. We are 17th place in the Champions League. 2 wins, Besiktas and Shakhtar. 2 matches I said we should win. We've got draws against Brøndby and Fiorentina. 2 matches I said we should win. And then we've lost against Ajax and Real Madrid, which is kind of understandable. We did also win the Romanian Super Cup, by the way. Just completely forgot to tell you that one. We beat FCSB 3-1 in the final. And we are also at the Romanian Cup closing stage quarterfinal, which is where the board wanted us to be as well. So I'm hoping there is a possibility that we can do a treble this season. We can win the Romanian First League, we can win the Romanian Super Cup, and we can win the Champions League. We can't win the Champions League. We can win the Romanian Cup. That's what I think. Realistically, let's do the double. Let's win the Romanian First League and win the Super Cup. I'm not fussed about the Romanian Cup. No one cares about that. So obviously, as we are about to head into the January transfer window, which frustratingly, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this, starts about the 20th of January in Romania, which means we've got like 2-3 weeks before our window opens where everyone else in Europe can try and buy our players, which is kind of annoying. We have got just over £20 million to spend. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. Well, the first few things that we did was sell a whole bunch of players, which arguably we shouldn't have done. Luis Uribe, one of them, leaving, going to FCSB for £750,000. For 775, Nicolas Stevic has left and he has moved over to Brøndby. I don't think we ever really saw this man kind of get involved at all. I mean, I feel like he played a lot, but most of them are off the bench, right? Yeah, most matches off the bench. Igor Turkal has gone out on loan to Lokomotiva. He's going to be leaving as well at the end of his contract, which, by the way, is in a year and a half. So I don't know why he's kind of telling me that now, but he's going to do it. We've also sold Georgiou. He has gone to Dynamo BT. What Dynamo BT? Dynamo Batumi. He's gone for £850,000. We just never played him, really, did we? Gary Moreno has also left the club on a loan deal until the end of the season. If I'm not mistaken, I think, yeah, he's out of contract as well at the end of the year, so that's the last we've seen of Gary. It's also the last we've seen of Dragan Filipovic. Our goalkeeper has left. He's signed for Leipzig for £7.5 million. Yeah, kind of annoying. This is what I said earlier about the whole European transfer window opens on the 1st of January for everyone else, but for us, it's on the 20th of January. We didn't have a goalkeeper for like 3 weeks, which was kind of annoying. We've also sold Bahari to Man United, and he's come back on loan. We haven't loaned back Filipovic, but Bahari has come back on loan. He's gone for £1.9 million, which is not a lot of money, but he was refusing to extend his contract, so I kind of went, you know what, we'll take some money, we'll get some sell-on clauses in there as well. We can loan him until the end of the season. It's not the end of the world. So then what have we done to replace the big names that have left the club? Well, first of all, Jimmy Gabakal, maybe, could be his name. 20-year-old Ivorian goalkeeper signed from ASEC Mimosas has come in for £220,000. But he is not going to be our number one goalkeeper because that is going to be Kostas Vagenas, a 29-year-old Greek international signed from FCSB. There was kind of a reason for this. Spending £3 million, which is arguably a bit too much money, but we have significantly weakened FCSB by taking their starting goalkeeper for just £3 million, and we needed him. So I'm perfectly fine with that. For £625,000, Steven Marcelo, a 23-year-old Colombian central footballer, can play as a defender, midfielder, or even attacking midfielder if we fancy. He's come in, signed from Millonarios FC in his native Colombia. He's going to be probably a centre-back. Ultimately, that's what I bought him to be. As is Keita Ishihara, a 30-year-old Japanese international centre-back who I think is ridiculously good for our team. Not our level of football, by all means. He's not Champions League superb quality, but compared to what we did have in the club, Ishihara, I think, is really, really good. And a free transfer as well from Yokohama F. Marinos. I think that's a very good bit of business. He's an experienced footballer, which is something that I often don't seem to do in Football Manager. And I've decided to do it this year. Is it paying off? I don't really know. Oh yeah, and Joel Omaru's back. He's cost £3.3 million. But we also had a sell-on of 50%. So he's actually only cost £1.6.5 million. Joel Umaru went to PSG, didn't really play, got loaned back to us for a season. We've brought him back for £3.3 million, which, like I said, was halved as well because we had that 50% sell-on clause in there. Joel Umaru's back in the club, everybody. And because of those transfers, we have had to do a little bit of rejigging when it comes to our squad and who's actually starting matches. I have put Vajanas in goal because if we do this, Gabakl could be his name, is not too dissimilar, but I want Vajanas to be our number one goalkeeper. Ishihara slots in as a centre-back. We are sticking Leon Schmidt as a left-back because we don't really have anybody else. And if we don't put Leon Schmidt, they often put somebody ridiculous in left-back, and I don't want them to do that. Let's stick Leon Schmidt. He's going to be playing there. Carnivale is sticking on that right-hand side, and Umaru will now stay in that attack midfield position, which means Fairhair can now probably be moved up as a striker, although realistically, it is going to be Mezziani. Also, ignore the fact that Ishihara is unregistered. It's because we're playing Atletico Madrid tomorrow, and he could not be registered for the Champions League in time, which is annoying. Speaking of the Champions League, you've probably worked out that we've qualified for the knockout round. Admittedly, it's the playoffs, but we did beat AC Milan and lose against Man United. So in the league phase, we finished 19th place. We now have to play Atletico Madrid. When it comes to the Romanian First League, we are second place, 1 point off the pace, which is perfectly fine, because basically once the points get halved, it's not going to be a point at all, is it? It's going to be 0 points off the pace. So I'm very happy with how things are going right now. Right, let's jump forward then a few more days or weeks in game. We'll see what happens in the Champions League knockout round. I want to get past Atletico Madrid, but I've got literally zero hope for this to take place. And also, I want to just... Ideally, we want to leapfrog Arges, don't we, before the end of the regular season. So the league table finished with us on top, 66 points, Arges on 65, but frustratingly, it means the points get halved, which means we are on top, joint with Arges. In third is Cluj on 32. It is very, very tight at the top of the table, so I'm not convinced we are going to win this league right now. If we can have some good results against your Arges and your CFR Clujes, then maybe we can start kind of dreaming and hoping that we can go back-to-back champions. One thing we're not going to win, though, is the Champions League, which was a surprise to absolutely nobody, by the way. We did get knocked out by Atletico Madrid. However, massive news, we did beat them 2-0. 2-1, sorry. We beat them 2-1 in Spain and then lost 2-0 in Romania. So, think about it, coefficient-wise, that's not awful. That is certainly not awful. The fact that we managed to beat Atletico Madrid is actually quite good. We've also apparently got an excellent youth intake coming through. I'll keep you posted. I imagine it's probably not going to be excellent, but you know. So apparently, it wasn't too bad. We do have 2 5-star potential players. Florin Badescu is one of them, a 15-year-old Romanian right-back. And we've also got Catalin Barbu, who is a 15-year-old Romanian central midfielder. So, I think it's gone actually not too bad at all. We've also got some other players who aren't as good, but still might get good in the future. Also, something that is pretty good is we are back-to-back champions of Romania. We have won the title once again, 51 points, just 1 point clear of Cluj. Arges just absolutely capitulated by the looks of it in the final Champions playoff, losing 6 of the 10. We did still lose twice against Arges and Cluj. So we almost threw that away there, didn't we? But luckily for us, we did not. We are champions of Romania once again. And we are also winners of the Romanian Cup, this time beating CFR Cluj in the final 1-0 after extra time. Who scored the goal? Place your bets. Mezziani's my guess. It's Fairhair from the penalty spot, and then he should have scored again from the penalty spot 3 minutes later and didn't, apparently. Fair enough. I'm not quite sure why this man played in the final, but there we are. So ultimately, we have won the treble. We've won, arguably, we've won the domestic treble. That's what we're going to say. The First League, the Romanian Cup, and the Super Cup. So we have won all 3 of those, which is actually, now you think about it, that's a pretty good season. Frustratingly, however, Joel Umaru has managed to break his leg on his return to the club. He did play 12 times, scoring 9 goals, but then broke his leg, so he was out for 3 to 5 months. Not ideal. Vajanas, in total, this season has played 38 times, keeping 12 clean sheets. However, most of those were actually for FCSB. He only kept 5 clean sheets for us. Not great, is it? It's not good. From an assist perspective, Daniel Stan, who seems to be playing as our backup left-back, I think he started 13 or 19 games maybe as a left-back before he locked in Schmidt, and then Stan has come off the bench a lot of the times, has actually managed to pick up 11 assists in all competitions. He's certainly not a left-back. New signing Sami Salah has done very well, 15 goals, 13 assists in all competitions. That was a very good bit of business on a free transfer. Demble Duda as well managed to get himself 14 assists in all competitions, And I think, has he just got his first Senegal cap? He might have already had that before anyway. But Demble not a bad signing. And likewise for Enrico Carnevali, getting 16 assists in all competitions, but he's also got 27 goals from right wing. That's ridiculous. He's actually the top goal scorer for our team. In third place is Mezziani scoring 22 with 4 assists. And second place is Ferenc Ferher with 25 and 8 assists. But at the top of the tree, it is Carnevali. I've sorted by goal scorers at the moment. So Umar gets 9 to his 5th top goal scorer, which considering he's only played 16 games, that's actually quite good. Ishihara getting 3 goals and 2 assists from centre-back. That's also very good for the 30-year-old. The fact that Fontarosa managed to play 12 starts and 10 off the bench is kind of concerning. Where did he play? Because we didn't lock him in. So mainly as a left-back. Coming off the bench as a left-back by the looks of it. So he did kind of... He was our backup left-back. Okay, that's not too bad, I guess. So the last thing we will do before we end this season is take a look at the coefficients, and already I can see it's good because we're losing an absolutely awful year from 32-33 and replacing it with a reasonably good year of a 13.4. So what does that mean for the 38-39 season? We are going to be, is that 6th? It is 7th place. So 7th place means we get a team directly in the Champions League, a team directly in, or not directly, into the last round of qualifiers, I believe. It's actually almost exactly the same, isn't it? The only difference is we get 2 teams in the Europa League and then 1 team in the Europa Conference League rather than in the qualifier. What is this? Why is there 2 different Europa Leagues? I don't understand. Anyway, it's not really made too much difference, but the fact that we've kind of improved is always good to see. We're also going to improve next year, assuming we have a decent year. That is going to do it then for Season 15 of our Building a Nation save, currently with FC Voluntari. Notice I say currently, because we're not necessarily staying with these until the end of time, but right now, we're doing a bloody good job. If you did enjoy this video, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time with Season 16, and hopefully another Champions League run, and hopefully we can get out the group stages again.